Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to see all of you here. Welcome to Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. We'll be celebrating Purim as well, the festival of lots or lottery. Welcome to all those who are watching from home. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach to you as well. I'm Rabbi Matt Berger. Pleased this evening to be joined with our soloist Michelle McNicholas, and down at the piano, as always, our accompanist Joy Katzen-Guthrie. Though Purim was technically Thursday night to Friday night, we'll be celebrating it this evening. We had our wonderful Purim Carnival almost 2 weeks ago now, so that we could celebrate last weekend with our 50th Jubilee, and we'll conclude our celebration of Purim this Shabbat evening. Let's sing Chag Sameach together. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la. We're gonna sing Chag Sameach. Shira, 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 Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Shira, 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 Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Shira, 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 Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Shira, 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 Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Chag Sameach, Yai la la la, ya la la. Are there any ladies here who'd like to help us light the Shabbat candles? The blessing found on page 2. Feel free to come onto the bima as we sing Light These Lights together.
My prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Let's say Yasher Koach, well done. Shabbat Shalom to each of you. Thank you for helping us bring in the presence of Shabbat into the sanctuary. Join me now in a prayer for the state and people of Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, shield the state of Israel beneath the wings of your love. Shelter it with your canopy of peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces and all who stand guard to protect our people. Keep them from all trouble and injury. Secure freedom for all those held captive by the enemy. May they find strength and courage of heart. We'll be singing one of the classic Purim songs, Purim Day, or Hag Purim in Hebrew. We'll do the A part in Hebrew, and then we'll flip to the English translation. Hag Purim, Hag Gadol HaYehudi, Masechot Rashanim, Mirot Rikudim, Havana Risha, Rosh, Havana Risha, Rosh, Havana Risha, Rosh, Baharashani. Purim Day, it's a happy holiday. We make noise with our toys, sing and dance and play. Let's hear the groggers, Rosh. Let's hear the groggers, Rosh. Let's hear the groggers, Rosh, when they say amen. And we'll be hearing those groggers roar later on in the service. Now, Michelle's going to lead us in the half or Chasi Kaddish, page 26.
Yitkada v'yitkada shmei rabbah, b'yama divrach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayed chol beit Yisrael, Bagala, uvizman karib, v'yemiru, amen. Yeheshmei rabba mevorach, le'olam omei almaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha brichu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbichata v'nechemata, tahamiran b'halma, v'yemiru, amen.
Let's rise for the call to prayer, the words of the Baruch Hu, found on 28. Adonai, Amevorah. Barechu et Adonai, Amevorah. Baruch Adonai Hamvorah, Leolam Vayeh. Baruch Adonai Hamvorah, Leolam Vayeh. on 31, Ma'ariv Arvim, for creation. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And a prayer of love, Ahavat Olam, found on 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll sing Open Up Our Eyes. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Feel free to be seated. Join us as we chant the words of the V'ahavta, loving God with all our heart, with all our soul, and all our strength. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anoki mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam le'od yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים Liot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohim. You'll find our introduction to our prayer of freedom, Michamocha, right on the screen. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, on earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, for soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace, which we'll sing together. Kamoka ba elim Adonai, kamoka nedav kodesh, norat ilot oseh belen, norat ilot oseh belen. Malechutecha ra'u banecha, v'okeyayam nipemo shel Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Kamoka ba'elim Adonai, kamoka nedav kodesh, norat ilot oseh belen, norat ilot oseh belen. You turn to page 42, you'll find our prayer of divine shelter and protection, the words of Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom. Amidenu Shomreinu Lechayim. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us between thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Let's rise for the tefillah, our standing prayers, which begin on 46 as we ask God to open our lips.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chesadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasevot V'Imahot, U'Mevii Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo B'Yava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Michayeh HaKol, Atah Rav L'Oshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakeh Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neman Hatal L'chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom lehalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Feel free to be seated. Let's continue on 60 with Birkat Shalom, our prayer of peace. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha, grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael Bashalom. And on the screen, you'll find one of the additions to the tefillah, or group of 7 standing prayers that's special for Hanukkah as well as Purim, and it's called Al HaNisim, which is for the miracles and for the wonders that were wrought for our people long, long ago. Al HaNisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaMilchamo she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Al HaNisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaMilchamo she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Al HaNisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaMilchamo she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Al HaNisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaMilchamo she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Al HaNisim ve'al HaPurkan ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaTshuvot ve'al HaMilchamo she'asita la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Let's turn to our prayer of healing, which you'll find on the screen as well as on 253 in your prayer books. We think of those in Israel still recovering from wounds physical or emotional, along with the following individuals with our thoughts and prayers of healing. For Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Reuven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Hope Brown, Tina Bruns, Larry Kane, David Chazen, Tyler Chang, Heather Felser, Harry Fleisch, Mitchell Freifeld, David Freelander, Myron Graff, Carl Greenbaum, Jeff Greenberg, Maya Herman, Don Hirschman, Jim Howard, Kathy Howard, Phyllis King, Alan Klein, Barbara Kobe, Irene Lipensky, Jerry Longerich, Michael Ranzino, Joey Rettler, Stephanie Ross, Marcia Satinoff, Elise Silver, Angie Sermenis, Jeff Stark, Grace Tribbiano, Greg Tribbiano, and David Wolstein. Are there any other names to add for healing at this time?
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
So, changeo presto with the Megillah in hand. Here's my costume. I'm going to bring it to the largest possible size for my Dr. Seuss hat, which I bought in the town where I was born, lovely Springfield, Massachusetts, on I-91, where the flowers are still yet to bloom, probably for another number of weeks or so. So this is also the time, before we get to the blessings, that if you are near a grogger or a Rashanim, Rashan or Rashanim plural, this is the time to get that out, test it, give it a little whirl to see if it's working. There you go. So we're going to do the blessings, of course, and there are not one, not two, but three. First, the blessing on reading the Megillah. Secondly, the blessing thanking God for what God did for us, even though God was not even mentioned a single time in the book of Esther. God was in and around the entire plan and alluded to on multiple occasions by Mordecai and others. For all of those miracles long ago, and for the Shehechianu prayer. And our congregation actually has two Megillot. In a few moments, in a few slides, no need to change it now, you'll see one of our Megillas. which open. It's basically one wooden finial, and then it opens up like that. That always requires at least 2 people, especially when we get to like chapter 9 and something like that. But we also have another handy-dandy Megillah, which looks just like a regular Torah scroll, and to boot has super-duper large font print. I mean, we're probably talking 75 to 100-point print. So very, very nice and easy on the eyes, regardless of your age, as long as you can read Hebrew. So here's the blessings. The first 2 have a special melody to them, and it goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al mikra megillah. And the second, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotenu v'yimotenu, v'yamim hahem bazman hazeh. And the third, the Shechianu with the special melody, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh, which thanks God for allowing us to reach this very, very special moment of, excuse me while I get a pointer here. There we go. And this pointer is very special. This is literally only the second lefty pointer, or yad, that I've ever seen in my entire life. Once upon a time, a woodworker made me my very own lefty one, because the Bible is very right-hander oriented. All of us lefties suffered in kindergarten class with those like very difficult scissors, and then the construction paper always folded. But here we go, a left-handed pointer or yad. So I'm going to be singing a little bit from chapter 1, a little bit from chapter 3, which is where we'll find most of our Hamans, and then all the way to the final chapter where Haman and his 10 sons get their comeuppance. So this is going to be read in a special trope or cantillation, which is bespoke for Purim. Just have to get my head wrapped around the tune. Vayhi bishmei Achashverosh, hu Achashverosh, hamelech mehodu ve'ad kush, sheva v'esrim umea medina, Bayamim hahem kashevet hamelech Achashverosh al kisei malchuto asher b'Shushan habira. We're going to roll until we get to the 3rd chapter. And here we are. Achar advarim ha'ele yidal hamelech Ahashverosh et Haman ben Hamdata Hagagi ban Haseu vayasem et kiso me'al kol asarim asher ito v'chol avdei hamelech Asher sha'ar hamelech korib umishachavim lehaman Kichein sivalo hamelech Mordechai lo yichra v'lo yishachaveh. And now we're going to, and you can sing along with me, rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those scrolls rolling. Way easier to roll this one than a Torah scroll because it's so much smaller and it's so much lighter. I love it. Okay. There we go. Moving right along. There we are. Get my little bookmark there. All right. So here's the final little section, one verse of an introduction, followed by the naming or chanting of the 12 sons of Haman, which I'll do my best to do in a breath or so. Ushushan habira hargu haYehudim ve'aved chamesh me'od ish ve'et parshandata ve'et alfun ve'et tasapta ve'et parata ve'et aldaya ve'et aridata ve'et parmshata ve'et arisai ve'et aridai ve'et vaizta Asara b'nei Haman ben Hamdata Saror HaYehudim hargu uve'yozeh lo shalachu et yadam. So you got some good Hamans in there, and you're about to get some more because I'm going to invite up Linda Ross and Reese Short, and they're going to be reading a summary translation of the Purim story, where I get to use my grugger.
King Ahasuerus ruled over 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. He held a great party for 180 days where he displayed his royal treasures for the nobles and officers. This party was followed by a 7-day celebration for all the people in Shushan, the capital. Queen Vashti gave a separate party for the women. On the final day, the king commanded Vashti to appear in order to show off her beauty, but Vashti refused. The king was very angry and asked his wise men what should be done. Let the king give her royal position to someone else, they advised, and the king did so. In Shushan, there was a Jew, Mordecai. He adopted his cousin Esther and brought her up as his own daughter. Beautiful and lovely, she was taken to the royal house where she became a favorite. She did not tell anyone that she was Jewish because Mordecai told her not to. The king loved Esther and made her queen instead of Vashti. After this, the king promoted Haman. Everyone bowed low before Haman, but Mordecai would not bow. This made Haman very angry, so he decided to destroy all the Jews throughout the kingdom. To determine the exact day, they drew lots, like a lottery, and a day was chosen in the month of Adar.
When Mordecai learned about Haman's plan to destroy the Jews, he turned to Esther and said, "Do not imagine you will be safe as a Jew inside the royal palace. If you keep silent, help will come from another place. Perhaps this is why you are now queen." Esther agreed. She went to the king and said, "If it pleases you, bring Haman tomorrow to the royal banquet I have prepared." That night the king could not sleep, so he had the book of records read to him. He learned that a man named Mordecai had saved the king from an evil plan. The king asked, "What did Mordecai receive for this?" The servants replied, "Nothing." The king then turned to Haman, who had entered the court. The king asked Haman, "What should be done for a man that the king wishes to honor?" Haman said, "Dress this man in a royal robe and lead him on horseback throughout the city, proclaiming, 'This is what is done for a man the king honors.'" The next day at the royal banquet with Haman, Esther said to the king, "My people are to be destroyed by an enemy, this wicked Haman." She told the king that Haman had planned to send Mordecai to the gallows. Upon hearing this, the king ordered that Haman be sent to the gallows instead. Esther spoke once again to the king. She begged the king to stop Haman's evil plan to harm the Jews. The king then called for Mordecai and said to them, Write what you please about the Jews in the name of the king, and seal it with my ring. This is how Esther and Mordecai saved the Jewish people from the wicked man called Haman.
Oh, yes. Let's give it up for our two wonderful readers, Linda and Reese. Is that not the loudest grogger that you've ever heard? I've had it for a good 20 years, and it's really well built, robust. So this week, in anticipation of a rare occurrence that's called Purim Mivushal, which translates to triple Purim, rabbis from Jerusalem asked residents to refrain from traveling from one city to another in the hours leading up to Shabbat, Friday morning. The warning was hand-delivered in letter form to Haredi or ultra-Orthodox communities. Though it might seem a bit quaint in this day and age, the concern was twofold. I'll ask our tech team to share an image regarding the first issue. Experience from previous years has taught that the highways in Israel become clogged and very overwhelmed whenever Purim begins on a Friday evening. And second, it was an advanced effort by the rabbis to preserve the sanctity of Shabbat during the holiday itself, a cardinal rule among traditional Jews. So what exactly is a triple Purim? It's a unique quirk in the Jewish calendar that's only applicable to a relatively small subset of people. The vast majority of Jews celebrate Purim on the 14th day of the Hebrew month of Adar, which began on Thursday evening and ended right before this Shabbat. However, if you live in a walled city like Jerusalem, Hebron, Akko, or Tiberias in Israel, they celebrate the holiday one day later on the 15th day of Adar. Now, they do this because the Jews of Shushan, also a walled city, fought their enemies for an extra day some 2,500 years ago in Persia. That's the Purim story. But there's a fly in the ointment in terms of reading the Megillah or Esther scroll on Shabbat. Simply put, Haredim or ultra-Orthodox Jews do not roll on Shabbat, at least in terms of the Megillah. Meaning this week, the scroll of Esther was read in these walled cities a day earlier, the same day as the rest of the Jewish world. The end result is that Purim will be celebrated 3 days in a row in Jerusalem. The first day is dedicated to hearing the Megillah, hearing the scroll, and the mitzvah of giving tzedakah to the poor, which can't be done because of the prohibition against money on Shabbat. The second day features an especially joyous celebration of Shabbat, while the third day, this Sunday, will be set aside to fulfill the last two commandments of the holiday. Mishloach manot, which is giving of food gifts to friends and family, and the seudah, which is the festive meal that you eat. Regardless of where Jews live, outside of walled city, inside a walled city, the goal of Purim is to focus on the positive. It's why our sages taught, Misha nichnas Adar marbim besimcha, which means when the month of Adar begins, we greatly increase our joy. A beautiful example of this is Israeli President Isaac Herzog's surprise appearance at a Purim party at his official residence for children with disabilities. I'll ask our tech team to show a heartwarming picture of this on the screen. Now, each of the children wore a specially designed costume around their mobility device. Wheelchairs and walkers were turned into rockets, game consoles, and circus tents. It was organized by Beit Issi Shapiro, a nonprofit focused on disability inclusion. The project involved dozens of kids with professional costume designers from the Holon Institute of Technology, as well as the website builder Wix, W-I-X. This Adar in particular has been an especially joyous one for our congregation. Last Friday and Saturday, we celebrated our 50th Jubilee anniversary. It was such an inspiring weekend with well over 200 congregants and honored guests attending last Friday's Kabbalat Shabbat service with dozens of kids leading us in song. And the celebration continued on Saturday night with an equal number of folks at our gala event. We'll certainly cherish these positive memories for many years to come. Many thanks, Rav Todot, to our Jubilee Committee, our wonderful temple staff, and all of the generous donors for helping to make these events so memorable and supporting our congregation. Every Purim, we recognize the victory of Mordechai, Esther, and the Jews over the evil Haman. And while the holiday is filled with levity, costumes, carnivals, great food, and fun, it also reminds us that evil and anti-Semitism persists in our world. In every generation, we must stand up to the newest incarnation of Amalek, the biblical arch enemy and perennial thorn in the side of Jews. On Wednesday evening, a couple nights ago, a gathering of 500 Jews and allies of Jews, including well over a million from our congregation, met at the Glazer JCC to do just that in Tampa. We gathered to hear from Jonathan Greenblatt, who's the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League. I'll ask our tech team to share an image of Greenblatt on the left and Michael Eagle, the interim CEO of the Florida Holocaust Museum, who moderated the discussion. Greenblatt shared the very sobering message that anti-Semitism has now been normalized in America. Not only do 24% of Americans hold anti-Semitic views and beliefs, a marked increase year over year, their most recent survey indicates that the youngest generation is now by far the most anti-Semitic. Since 2015, incidents of anti-Semitism have gone up more than 1,000%. Not only is this a mind-boggling statistic, it's a clear indication that the winds aren't blowing in a favorable direction, and Jews aren't situated on the lee side of the gale. Thankfully, the ADL works diligently to protect the Jewish community. In the past 12 months alone, they filed more lawsuits against colleges and universities regarding discrimination against Jews than in their entire 100-plus year history. Additionally, their annual college report card, which grades universities from A to F, has led to real change. In the past year alone, more than 70% of the schools that were failing on the list contacted the ADL to see how they could avoid a failing grade as a university in the future. Finally, ADL's technology team scours social media on the internet as well as on the dark web to root out prejudice and hate against Jews, and then report their findings to appropriate law enforcement. In addition to the yeoman's work of the Anti-Defamation League, like-minded organizations are following suit. One of these is called Alums for Campus Fairness, which harnesses the unique power of college alumni to counter anti-Semitism and the demonization of Israel on college and university campuses. Alums for Campus Fairness is dedicated to preventing discrimination and holding educational institutions accountable when they don't do their part to protect their Jewish students. I'm pleased to announce that our congregation will welcome Dr. Rebecca Pinchevsky, a member of ACF's Southeast Regional Team, here at the congregation on Tuesday, April 29th. She'll bring her extensive experience in nonprofit educational sectors to our synagogue. It's sure to be a meaningful and informative evening. The descendants of Amalek come in all shapes and all sizes. Many of them spread lies in campus protests and dehumanize Jews, suggesting that Israel is involved in genocide and colonization when nothing can be further from the truth. And they hide behind the thin veneer of anti-Zionism, but make no mistake, anyone who says they are anti-Zionist is in fact anti-Semitic, because Jews and Zion, which is another word used for Israel as a whole, are inextricably linked. And this relationship, which started all the way back in the time of Abraham and Sarah and the Bible, continues to this very day. Jews have earned the right of self-determination. Jews created the miracle of the state of Israel, and Jews continue to fight for her survival. It's why all of us proudly say, Am Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live. One final note about Purim. It shares that one of the greatest enemies is indifference. Long ago, Mordecai and Esther stood up to Jewish hate. Today, the ADL stands up to Jewish hate, as well as discrimination against other groups. Alums for Campus Fairness stands up to Jewish hate. And Israel, of course, stands up to Jewish hate. Every one of us needs to do our part by staying informed, by reporting incidents of anti-Semitism, and by investing in Jewish advocacy efforts. On Wednesday night, I, along with the others at the Glaser JCC, learned about the Tov Fund, T-O-V, Tov meaning good, a groundbreaking exchange-traded fund, or ETF, now on the New York Stock Exchange. I'll ask our tech team to display its current status as of today on the screen. The Tov Fund is designed to empower investors to combat Jewish hate, support Israel, and embody Jewish values. The ADL actually gave a lot of the seed money to help launch this. Since its debut on the stock exchange 2 weeks ago, the Tov Fund has exceeded $180 million in assets. It's an all-out effort to combat the BDS, or boycott, divestment, and sanction movement, which has infiltrated many publicly traded companies as well as shareholder meetings. The great sage Rabbi Tarfon once taught, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, we're not obligated to finish the work, but neither are we free to abstain from it. Let's fight hate for good together by celebrating Purim with joy, by enjoying some pie on Pie Day, which we will at our own egg, and by remembering that against all odds, Jews have and will continue to prevail and thrive wherever we choose to hang our hat. Pun intended. Get it? Hang? Tough luck for all of those Hamans out there. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. We're going to continue now with the words of Aleinu, the adoration. Any gentleman here would like to come up to the bima and help me open the ark for the words of Aleinu, found on 282. Feel free to come forward. Yay! And let's rise for the words of the adoration.
Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Feel free to be seated. Shakoach Reese, well done. You'll find the words to Kaddish Yakom, the Mourner's Kaddish, words of praise, on page 294. We first think of families and loved ones in the period of Shloshim. First 30 days mourning a loved one as we remember Carl Shulak, friend of Hal Bordiansky and Marnell Pluchak, Jonathan Marks, father of Rick, Karen, and Tina Cohn, brother of Ed Marks, and husband of Aletova Marks, Patsy Powers, friends of Hal Bordiansky and Marnell Pluchak, Rabbi Brad Bliefeld, friend of Rabbi Gary Klein, and Richard Bernard, husband of Joy Bernard. We also marked the yahrzeit anniversary of passing of the following individuals. This Shabbat, we fondly recall Marshall Barron, Arthur Borofsky, Nathan Buchstein, Louis Carvalho, Sylvia Estulin, Doris Ferguson, Hedwig Goldschmidt, Ruby F. Gornbein, Richard E. Harding Jr., Abraham Herdstein, Alice Heron, William Jackson, Morris Kanigson, Anna Kassoff, Annette Kramer, Charlotte Lewis, Michelle Mann, Helen Marco, Marianne Messina, Alan Resnick, Neil Edward Rothschild, Ida Ruthberg, Faye Leah Sokoloff, Harry Weidberg, and Ida Wenning. If there are any other names to add for Yard Site, feel free to add their names. We say, Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of these good people continue to be a blessing in their loved ones' lives as we rise to offer the words of Kaddish together. Page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hiruteviam lich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'isman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah v'varach le'alam u'lamei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'elam kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, kuyasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, and the world, as we say, amen.
V'yimru, 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 amen. V'yimru, 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 amen.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the words to the Kiddush blessing over the fruit of the vine on 5 and on the screens. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri agafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. Shabbat kodsho v'avahu ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereishit, kihu yom techilah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'iltanu kidasha, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat koshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hitkalkanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Say l'chaim, to life. All right, any teens or people who consider themselves young adults, come on up. It's your little mini aliyah. You get to go up the stairs. For some tasty challah. All right, let's sing the blessing together. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Say b'tevon, joy. Let's say Yasher Koach, well done. Representing our Board of Trustees and Temple leadership, pleasure to call upon Steve Sussner, our treasurer, who will be sharing some Shabbat announcements with us. All right.
Shabbat Shalom. Many thanks to Rabbi Matt, Allison, and Joy for a wonderful service.
Michelle.
What's that?
Michelle.
Michelle, that's okay.
That was my title.
There you go. Sorry. Along with our tech team, Saul and Brad, and greeters, David, Lillian, and Gary. Shabbat Minyan, led by Ron Gilberg, begins at 9 a.m. tomorrow, followed by breakfast sponsored by Brotherhood, Sisterhoods, Yoga Meditation, led by Ida Berger, starts at 10 a.m. Elections for the World Zionist Congress, which allocated $1 billion annually to Israel, are underway. Vote reform using the QR code by paper ballot. Rabbi Matt will cover the $5 administration fee for paper ballots, and the office will mail them in. Help area refugees by donating needed items to Gulf Coast JFCS. Strengthen Israel's defenders by supporting the Golani Brigade. Our Brotherhood, in partnership with the Jewish Federation, is raising funds to equip the training gyms. Sisterhood's fund for the kitchen Passover desserts will be Thursday, March 27th at 6:30 p.m. Their Manja, Mahjong, and Moreh dinner game night is on Wednesday, April 2nd. Our annual second night Passover Seder on Sunday, April 13th. RSVP and QR codes are found in our weekly email and cards in the lobby. Next Friday, Temple President Paul Rasoff will be leading services with Allison and Joy. Following services, join us in the social hall for an Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, Steve. Thank you so much. It's been great leading with Michelle this evening. Special treat. Regarding the 10 o'clock tomorrow morning Sisterhood meditation, not this Shabbat. The WZC World Zionist Congress, there's going to be some pamphlets or cards which have a QR code so you can vote electronically. It costs $5. The voting goes through May. You want to vote reform. And when they ask whether you want a PIN email or a PIN in SMS or a text message, do not select email, I've been told, but select the SMS and receive the PIN right to your phone via text. But it's very important to vote in that, and we're hoping to have a lot of participation within our community, and we'll have our paper ballots available in the social hall. We are going to close out with a very fun song, Wicked, Wicked Man. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He would have taken all the Jews, though they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Nachum and Tashin. And Esther was a lovely queen. King Ahasuerus, when Haman said he'd get us all, my, how did he scare us? Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nachum and Tashin. But Mordecai, her cousin bold, said, what a dreadful chutzpah. He is so bad in every way that Haman I would rid, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nachum and Tashin. When Esther speaking to the queen of Haman's plot made mention, ha ha, he said, oh no he won't, I'll spoil his bad intention. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nachum and Tashin. Of all his cruel and unkind ways, his little joke did cure him. And don't forget, we owe him thanks for the jolly feast of Purim. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. And Nachum and Tash. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Purim.